Why is need so important?
The driving force.
It's the biggest driving force. They're gonna tell you, here is what I will pay you. This is what I want. This is the money question. I will pay you thousands of dollars to fix this problem. That's why I'm here. Not for all these other things. They don't care about any of this other stuff. All they care about is this. Because this is what got them in, right? So you have to get need, and how do you get need?
You can ask questions, obviously.
This is the open-ended. This is why we learn open-ended, menu, reverse negative. This is what this was designed for. This is where this really matters. So it always goes, what does this affect the most? It's always an open-ended question. How is this affecting your life? That's how I lead it. How is this affecting your life? And if it's, this wrecks, I can't work, I can't sleep, I can't go to the bathroom, I can't dress. Boom, we have high need. And they do that about 20 or 30% of the time. Actually 50, 60% of the time. They're gonna tell you with an open-ended. And then you know that's generally the biggest problem. But you wanna be thorough, because you don't wanna get need wrong. They might say this affects my sleep, this affects my, this affects my ability to work, it affects my ability to do chores. How many needs can a person have?
Can have several, but usually there's one that's most important.
Yes, they could have lots, but really, a few people will have two, but it's almost always just one single thing that bothers them the most. And remember, this may bother them the most when they're sleeping, but that's not it's emotionally based. So yes, I can't sleep at night, and I really need sleep. But what really bothers me is when I'm working, or I can't exercise. So I'll have someone say, yeah, it affects my ability to take care of my kids, and they'll start to get emotional about it. But what it really bothers them is they gain 20 pounds because they can't exercise. And you can tell because they light up. And this is where, you ask an open-ended question, they regurgitate it to you, and if you don't follow up, if you're gonna spend time, you're gonna spend lots of time constantly doing the open-ended menu. Make sure you get this, and make sure you watch them respond, and then you state it back to them. So your big problem is you gain 20 pounds. And when you hit that emotional response, that's high confrontation. So you better be ready and you have to be ready mentally and emotionally to challenge them on it. So if they go, yes, it affects my relationship with my kids, now you're gonna bond with them. Now you're gonna go, how does that make you feel when you can't take care of your kids? I say it like this just to make a point. You want them to cry. If they cry, you did a good job. Do people want to cry in front of you? No.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. And I hate it when people cry around me. It used to make me so uncomfortable. I hated it. And so guess what I would do? I'd minimize it. Oh, we'll help you. Don't worry about this. We got this. Please stop crying. I'm awkward. I'm uncomfortable. Okay? But if they're crying, they're talking about something that matters a lot to them. Let them feel their pain. It's not my job to take away their pain. I want to wake up their reality to how bad their life is. So when they cry, you look at them and go, this is awkward. In your head, you think, this is awkward, this is uncomfortable, this is my job, and now I know I can help them. And I found something that matters to them, so I'm gonna flush it out completely, get it out in the open, and then I'm gonna dedicate everything I do to fixing that problem as best I can for them. Now that I'm aware of it, So, and it doesn't always have to be a negative. It can be, I wanna go water skiing again. But, or I just love being at the gym. But we want to make it a negative. Because remember, need is 90% of the time a negative. So they may say, I just wanna work out, I wanna lose weight. Okay? You don't look at somebody, and this is just very important, it's a small thing, but it's very important. You don't look at them and go, Brian, I'm gonna help you lose 20 pounds. You're gonna feel so good and get so many women. Is that a motivating factor?
No.
Maybe not for Brian, because he's
I would
already,
hate women.
right? Is that a motivating factor, the way I said it? You're gonna lose 20 pounds, you're gonna feel amazing, and go get tons of women.
It is if those are his needs.
It's not. Why?
Not emotional.
Because it's a positive.
Oh.
Pleasure. People are not motivated by pleasure. They're motivated by pain. So if I go like this, you're fat and ugly, and that's why you're home and lonely a lot, and you spend all your time hanging out on the golf course with your guy friend instead of other girlfriends, because he accepts you for being fat. Okay, I'm being totally insulting. I apologize. I'm making a point.
I've always learned.
When you're getting need, go for the pain, and do not minimize it. If I'm beating you down again and again and again the whole time, this will be terrible. But we're not. We're beating them down a little bit here, but we're building them up in other areas. We're giving them warm fuzzies and building trust and building comfort so that we can go a little negative on this side without ruining our relationship. If I'm negative, that's going to be bad. But I do have to be able to go negative and positive, okay? You've got pain and pleasure. Right? Which one's bigger?
Pain.
How big is pain?
60-40.
90-10.
Oh.
In general, 90% of all your behaviors are, and I think it was Jordan Peterson said it best. He goes, people don't actually want to be happy. Statistically, they just don't want to suffer. And that's really true. If this is just one philosophy or a psychology approach to life, but the people who subscribe to it say, yeah, you can always, people say they do things for pleasure. You know, Brian thinks people do things for pleasure, and they do. But he goes, in general, if you watch their daily behavior, it's all avoidance, avoiding pain, avoiding pain, avoiding pain. So if you focus on drawing their attention to avoiding pain, you're going to be a lot more successful. And the example, you can always do pain has present pain and future pain. Because a lot of times they're not in the present, they're avoiding future pain. Right? And then you have present pleasure and future pleasure. So it goes like this. Present pain. So future pleasure would be, you know what, Brian, if you give up everything you love in life and all your money and you live poor, I'll give you eternal mansions in heaven. Future pleasure, weakest. If I say I'm going to give you $10,000, if you give me $1,000 right now in 10 years, most people won't do it, right? Or they don't believe you. But present pleasure, I'll give you a candy bar right now if you let me chop off your finger or let me inflict pain, right? Anyway, I'm not doing a good job explaining it. The best example of present pain, if I put your hand over a lighter, what will you give me to get your hand off that lighter? If I literally took your hand and held it over a lighter and said, give me your child, you'd consider it after about 5 seconds. You'd at least think about it, right? How long could you hold your hand over there if I said, I'm going to kill your child? Maybe you could. That's a... You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That is so horribly present pain. People will do anything to get out of present pain if it's that severe. Future pain, I can threaten you with pain, and that's very motivating. So this is where people are oriented. That's why they come to the office, and that's what you want to focus on. Never talk to them in terms of, I'm going to make you feel amazing. It's, I'm going to get you out of pain. You can't live like this. This is horrible. Accentuate their pain, and that creates motivation to do what you want them to.